Like she does the bathroom barefoot. I wonder what that is. I won't even ask, but let's just.
I know. Listen, guys.
It's like the Statue of Liberty now.
We are not normally like this.
Let me tell you, this house is relaxed enough that it doesn't need a relaxed pillow. I'm telling you. I walked in here and I just couldn't help it. The touch of grey and white just got me thinking
chandelier.
what kind of friends Piper has or has made for the longest time without, us knowing.
This is a rival.
Yeah?
These are the friends I want to have.
But we're live, yeah?
I'm like, when I come back home, I want to come back to too much space of confusion. I don't know whether to sleep this side or the other side. Meanwhile, guys, it took our entire production team about 3 hours, 3 fucking hours to come up with this set. What you guys been doing for 3 hours? We switched the screens. What?
And I've told them Loukman was coming. Because the moment they heard,
Oh yeah.
are you sure? Like, hey, let's change it.
Mose was like, Moses, you knew on Netflix.
Anyway, guys, welcome back. It's episode 10, the milestone episode, man. Obajukira batugamba
Let's wait. Do you know every time we are like celebrating an episode number, say 5, 7, Faizo makes it a point to say, man, Ojukira
batugamba.
People be sending you messages that, man. Yes, man, improve your shit. And you're like, well, we're trying.
Every time Faizo reminds us that Ojukira.
Guys, the pressure.
Batugamba. But yeah, to Ojukira.
Sometimes the pressure can be too much. But welcome back, guys. Faizo here.
Michelin.
Derek Dasher.
And B-Wall, obviously.
And the man himself, the guest of today, Loukman.
Loukman, we're going to ask you to be a bit audible because what we're going to get into.
Like I told you,
He's so chill.
the things that
He's
he
cool,
writes,
calm, man.
He's so
things
chill.
that he writes,
And
the way he speaks do not.
The notes, eh?
yeah.
They do not align.
It's like two different people, yeah?
Yeah, like you're so calm.
You ever worked with people that as calm as you are and you feel like they need to, be audible enough and,
Okay, I don't first repeat that question.
like,
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
you see how with describing you as a calm person, you're laid back. Earlier on, they asked you to check your mic and you're like, 1, 2. Can I touch it physically? That was Loukman checking for his sound. So I'm trying to understand. Do you ever worked with people that, because sometimes people are camera shy and it affects the way they, bring out your character. So
Some
I'm trying.
microphone shy.
Some are microphone shy. So I'm trying to imagine of the people you have worked with. Have you ever encountered one who is calm more than you are, and you have to deal with them in terms of expression, sound wise, and even just the face itself?
Yeah, I've worked with people, but most times you just give them time. You just start shooting.
Ease into
know
it.
they're not going to do it well.
Yeah,
But you just keep going.
Oh, yeah.
After a while, they get used to it, and then
Interesting.
But I've worked in
Life hack.
Nigeria where it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are all over.
Everyone's
Just
all
ask
over
them
the
to tone
place.
down.
Do
No.
you ever go with like headaches or something?
Guys, eh? We don't want to be cancelled. But anyway,
Yeah.
Can
I shout out to your friend though?
Cancelable.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay,
that's
man.
just how they are.
The truth is,
Culture.
when you're in a Nigerian, you
Mm.
need headaches.
You need to. That's very true. man.
Because you have to also pick up on all the cues, all the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going. Oh, you can't always get that stuff.
You the craze? That's
But the
much
thing I like
yeah.
about them is they're very unapologetic.
Yeah.
Like they are who they are.
It's like that.
They don't care.
They are
it's-
true Africans, man. Big shout out to everyone who watches Nothing Serious from Nigeria. But talking about shout outs, big shout outs to you, Guti. Yeah, Guti is Piper's friend. That's a name that I will never forget.
A rich friend. I need
The
to know
rich
Gucci
friend.
personally.
Bestie,
I
eh?
need to know Gucci
Oh,
personally.
Mose is correcting me. It's Bestie.
Bestie.
Yeah.
And this is what they call them now.
And
Gucci.
I realized, was it yesterday when you told us you got a location?
Yeah.
That turns out I'm not the only bestie.
But you guys, you're only 3.
You have 3 besties.
And they're all girls, yeah.
Dang. This nigga don't miss. I did.
Nigga.
Yeah, Gucci. Full
Shit.
shit. Like, that's it.
So this is your
Oh my
bestie.
God, there are 4. Grace. Grace, I'm sorry.
So Guti, yeah. I want to be Guti's friend.
even me.
Just
Even
friend.
me.
You mean even
Like-
me?
But
I want a friend whose house I can come and chill in,
And
but the
phone.
distance, a house where the chairs are not on the wall.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Like a house which has good lighting,
Guys,
chandelier.
guys.
Where the kitchen, you have to walk through a number of
Like
doors
there's
to
enough,
get there. Where
head
I mean,
space and
Yo,
with a lot of parking.
when I told these guys, yeah, this is my
I
best
have
friend's
so many
house.
things to
They were
say.
like, your best friend is a girl, and in my head I'm like, they're even 4. Like it's not just. So is it like a thing, like a guy can't have a female best friend?
Yeah.
For most people, yeah.
You don't think so?
Let Ali get
Why?
into it
Why do you
first. Yeah, why?
I just don't think we our values are the same.
I think
But guys,
sometimes, like,
what
if
the
you're
hell?
actually intentional about just being friends, it doesn't matter.
I think that comes from the girl side. The
No,
girl,
no,
the
even
girl
the
needs
guys.
to see you as a friend.
Yeah, but can't you as a guy also see her as a friend?
For me, there's a level. So let's say she's like, if she's a 5 and below,
Oh God.
she's a friend.
Oh my God. So
If she's up there,
That's true.
First
That's
she
of all,
can't just be a friend.
Yeah.
if you're
either not
Ali's
interested
friends,
or
Yeah.
no,
if you're
I don't have.
So can Mutuzo be your best friend?
Very unlikely.
It's like walking.
I have colleagues.
Colleagues.
Oh, yeah. But not like
Piper, you see,
God.
that Mutuzo question is like walking with a sugarcane in the desert. Anytime. Anytime.
no, but you see,
go eat it.
you make the assumption first of all that everybody eats sugarcane.
Exactly.
So I could hold a sugarcane and I don't eat sugarcane.
In the desert.
And
Yes.
And you're about to
That's
die.
one. Wait.
You are,
Yes, that's one.
because I want us to look at it from the extreme part of
I get it. I
He
get it.
has noticed
But also,
that even if he were dying,
but
he
also,
cannot
and
bite into that sugar cane.
It's not my best friend.
yeah,
my
no.
God,
The other thing
guys.
that he said is that if she's a 5 and below, right? She can't be a friend. Meaning, obviously, you're not physically attracted to her. But I would like to think that there can be a babe who is genuinely pretty, good looking, or whatever. But I am not sexually attracted to her. That's possible.
Auntie, they were going that big.
No, she could actually be like a 7.
Yes, sexually.
Yes, I am not
But I'm
sexually.
talking about like
sexually
straight
attracted to everything.
Yes, straight through,
Beautiful
yes.
thing.
Beautiful is an understatement.
But you guys,
It's
It's
pretty.
for real. Are you like my best friend at school is a guy, and usually, like, when I put him on my status, there's people that will comment and be like, "Is he okay? Does he function?"
Is
And
he
I'm
gay or
like,
what?
guys, yeah, I'm like, guys,
It's
there's
because you're keeping
peop-
him there.
No.
yeah,
There's
like give him a
genuinely
chance. and
people.
We could bet money right now.
I think it's
Let me,
If
it's the
you
same
called
thing
him
as
up-
Faisal.
if you called him
When
up-
I say this is my best
see. By the
friend,
way.
No,
people will
listen,
say,
listen to Loukman.
Can we do
Loukman
that?
is going
Can you
somewhere.
call him up and tell him I
what
need
I'm
to see
saying.
you
No,
right now?
First,
No,
wait.
no,
No, I can't.
You know why?
You know why?
You know why? You
No,
wouldn't do
no.
that.
First of all, he's I don't know if I should
La, la, la,
say
la,
this
la.
because he will watch this and then we will like be
It'll be like
fighting.
what's
Yeah, but I know for a fact.
Like he's a
I
good
know
person.
for a fact. Even if I
What do you
said
mean?
Yeah.
I
Call
want,
him.
if I called him and I said I want to see you now, he'll first ask me, "Are you okay?" Which and then he
Tell him
will
I'm
ask
ovulating.
about. He doesn't even. First of all, he doesn't even understand what ovulation is.
Listen now,
What do you mean?
He
How
doesn't
you go through
understand
school?
it.
Is that type of guy?
He's very young and.
Okay, then you see.
Yeah,
you see what you're
But,
saying.
but you see, most people will still ask me, "Does it function?" And I'm like, guys, there's people where your head is not in that space.
Yeah.
Whether
It's
you're
possible.
next to a
It's
very
possible.
attractive, but your mind
It's
is
very
not
possible.
in
Can I
that-
tell you something
it's just-
interesting?
Mhm.
When I was young, I was like maybe 7 or 6, and I in class I was quite talkative, and I was like
Really?
doing
You were
okay, not loud, but I used
But
to talk.
yeah.
So one time we had some visitors come to our school, and they asked all these questions, and I answered all the questions, and we had this teacher that was like really sexy. So the teacher thinks we are kids, but we are kids, and then the teacher is like, oh,
Ali,
he
were
was
7.
the best. Yeah.
And your
So that's
imagination
how-
was
yeah.
wild.
It's like,
That's how
it's
we
like
So his imagination has
answered-
always been like
yeah,
that.
he answered all the questions, and she tells the whole class that I'm inviting him to my house, and I have presents for him, and then all the little boys in my class look at me and they're like,
Oh.
when we step outside,
Insane.
it's like, what if she molests you? And then I'm like, I'm hoping. So that's the thing. So now as an adult, when I look at young boys, I'm thinking, these kids are already sexual. It's just that they haven't reached the age where it's acceptable. But they're
I
already
need to
thinking
have a
that.
conversation with my
Yeah, they are aware.
I'm
of
telling
it.
you, they're
Actually,
aware.
as a human being, you're aware of it.
So So it's basically it's a question of, will she let me? So a lot of times you're thinking, is it worth destroying what the relationship we have? Or, you know.
Me, I genuinely think it's about where your mind is at with this person. You get like my mind, like when I'm with Faizo, I can sleep with Faizo in the same bed and it will come to morning
that's fine,
because my mind
Also-
is not in that space. It's somewhere entirely
But you
different.
see,
But I also know that there is someone
Yeah.
that I would never.
I don't know why Moses is
When-
arguing with
Moses is
himself.
shaking.
He said, no, it cannot be.
Moses.
It's okay. Well, no.
It's okay.
But
That's
it's
my
fine.
point. It's like one
Yo,
of my best
Moses
friends.
is fighting
so
for
friends
Piper's
so-
rights.
as if.
The owner of the rights does not want them, and Moses is waiting for the rights. You get, but there's people that I also know. I would never put myself in that space because you get my point. So like, it depends on why
I suppose
mind
it's a choice, right?
is that.
And I look, I agree with you that where there is male and female, there's always going to be that
Chemistry.
electricity, sort of, you know, that invisible. But there is a choice always to be made.
Of course.
There's
I mean,
a
if,
choice, right?
if you take away the choice, then it becomes rape.
No. When you remove the choice, then you're not human. Because what makes us different from all the other species is we can choose, right?
This is what I'm saying.
So wait.
So listen.
So
True friendship,
Mhm.
what I would call true friendship,
Mm.
is where no matter what.
No. Even true friendship is a choice.
No matter
Because your friend has flaws.
Wait, guys.
Flaws.
There's like something called false friendship.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Like I'm friends with you
Yes.
because you pay the bill.
Hey,
No,
you don't know fake
Then
friends,
yes,
bro.
fake friendship. Or I'm friends with you
I
because
think you cannot say fake
because
and
you have
say
good
friends,
beds.
really. I think
Actually,
if you're fake, you're fake.
Well, that's how the other day in Kampala.
Let me. I'm always telling my friends, I cannot be your friend if I'm not getting something from you.
That's it.
My friendship, my relationships are very, very conditional.
even your parents.
I'm starting to
conditional,
wonder
everything is
Yeah,
what
actually,
Michelle
actually
gets
it is.
from me.
Joy.
You wait. One day you'll know. One day you'll know.
You see, when I say if I'm not getting something from you, I don't mean material that you'll give me
Yeah.
money, that you will give me
Can you
a
afford
car.
it, man?
But man, we agreed I cannot. I shall not control in that pool for reasons that you know.
You'll give other
But
things.
Yes.
sometimes
Joy,
it's just
happiness,
peace. Like
happiness.
if I am stressed, I will call Faizo and say, Faizo, I need to like just sit down and talk. You get that is what Faizo is giving me.
Yeah.
That comfort and the
Mm.
peace of I can talk
Yeah,
to
I can
him.
talk, not
If
be
something
judged.
happens, I can call you and be like, hey, through that, I've told you guys, I'd be looking forward to Wednesday every week or whichever day we decide to. Like, I look forward to it because I know that day I'm going to laugh genuinely.
Yeah.
I will have peace. That is what you give me. The minute you stop giving it to me,
It's over.
It's
we are
over.
done.
Noted.
We
All
are
right,
done.
noted.
So, guys,
I'm
really-
make sure you
yeah.
handle her
My-
properly. Yeah?
Yes,
Everybody's
with care.
going
Yeah.
right.
No,
Okay.
my love is very, very conditional. Very conditional.
But,
Like,
but the point I was trying to make is, if you're friends with a guy
mm,
and you will be the one saying, no, we're not taking this here.
mhm.
But
The
guy
guy.
if
The guy is
a lot of-
open-minded.
I said, a lot of guy friends,
Mhm.
they are just
They live,
watching.
they live a window.
They're like that villain.
Like
in a movie.
anytime.
They're waiting for a crack.
Yeah.
If there is a crack in the armor,
Yeah.
they'll just sleep with it.
Haven't you ever been that guy
I
Who
don't have-
says
I don't
no,
have the
actually?
patience to. Huh?
who actually says no when a babe?
Yeah, because this is someone we've established that I have no. Physically, I'm not attracted to.
It's the other.
That's my point.
It's the other 5
That
and
was the
below.
point I was
5
making.
and below.
Yeah,
that you talked
it's
about.
because
Uh,
I'm not physically attracted to.
That's yeah.
So because of that
Mhm.
reason, I get out of that. I'm not interested in that. But so that person, if they have something that they're bringing,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
what she said,
Yeah.
then the friendship has a point.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean
But-
if they're like physically attractive, you would not even dare.
No, I would. I mean, if they're very attractive to me, then
You shoot your shot.
either we're that or we're not. Because what's the point of me looking at this?
At a cake you can't eat.
No, I'm not trying to look at a person as that.
Mm.
But like, if the relationship can't be what I'm trying to have,
Then what's the
then
point?
what's the point? Why am I wasting my
It is
time?
Fair
understandable.
enough.
Because my brain.
Fair enough. Fair
Look,
enough.
Let me
Yeah.
ask,
Oh,
do you for example, me, I'll have very attractive people, very, very attractive
Yeah.
people, but like I'm not in any way
Yeah.
attracted to them. Like I can appreciate, like, oh, you look good, you're well groomed, you smell nice, but that's just about it. I don't feel the need to like go beyond that. So you are saying you as a person, you basically can't have very beautiful people around you that you're not physically attracted to.
No, but the whole thing, beauty is also kind of subjective. What you
I
find
get it.
Exactly.
So I might be with someone who looks good
And that was my
to
point.
someone else,
Yes.
but to me, but again, the whole
that they
point,
can be
the
attractive.
whole point is if they are attractive to you,
No,
then
okay.
you can't really be friends.
Look, man, two questions for me.
Yeah.
Two questions for me
Yeah.
before Ngajatuna agenda. Are you that guy in regards to guys? Come on. Are you that guy that's for the other side of the attractive people, the ones that you have seen and they're physically attractive, and you're like,
Yeah.
Are you the guy that is always waiting for the crack?
No.
You don't wait
So
for the crack.
if I know someone and they're with someone else, I'm just not interested.
What if they're not with
Okay, what if they're not?
If they're
someone?
not with someone else and I'm not with someone else,
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste time trying to be their friend.
Yeah, moving on to get a mass.
Secondly,
If it doesn't work out,
it doesn't
they
work.
can go on
Yeah.
peacefully.
Yeah.
I go on peacefully.
But at least
have you
are-
found yourself in a situation, a very, uncompromising situation with some of the actresses you have worked with? Because you've worked with some fine people.
That has never happened actually.
Oh.
Because and it's one of the reasons why a lot of I might get like good looking chicks that might seem interested in me, but they think maybe we're going to like work together. But that's not the criteria.
Oh, I see.
go for.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to get someone to work with,
It's
they
different.
genuinely have to be good at what they're
Talented
doing.
and
Because I have no patience. Like when I wear that hat,
it's different.
it's different. So when I was back then, when I was shooting commercials in Kigali, there was so many attractive people I used to work with. Models.
I can imagine. You don't have to convince them.
Commercials. So now you're working on a commercial, and when I'm wearing that hat, I am like incredibly impatient, and I just want things to get done, and I don't have. And then when that comes off, I'm thinking maybe we can be friends now. And now it can't happen.
It can't happen.
Ship
Yeah.
sails.
Get a
to
mass.
ask you guys
Can we leave this?
So this is not now about
Okay.
him. Like this is now like a question to all of you. Can you guys date an actress actually? Can you date an actress?
I mean, if they had all the other things that
Have you seen?
I don't
this?
know.
Have you
I
seen
don't really
the
care about the
scenes?
profession.
The actress.
Seen the
you
scenes
direct
people do
the
these
scenes,
days.
I don't think-
the erotic ones where people are kissing or like
Yeah, but it's
and-
like fake.
16 rounds.
The kissing is fake.
No,
The lips don't touch.
Well, that's-
The lips touch. If someone holds your ass. By the way, let's see if they're not go far.
Wait.
The lips is too far.
Wait.
I'll give you an example. 16 rounds.
Relax.
Yeah.
16 rounds,
Yeah.
we're working with Natasha Sinayobe. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm guessing she's in her own relationship.
Yeah.
So what happened with that scene is I explained what I want, and then I handed over to Natasha.
Yeah.
So being the woman, she drives the scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
what
So,
she's comfortable
so she
with.
tells
what
the
she-
guy
yeah.
where to touch.
Okay.
Like everything is driven by her. So for me, I just
Oh, I
have my
see.
camera, I step on the side,
Shit.
and then she decides you can't touch there, you can't do this, you can't. It's up to her.
What happens
But
if the
you
guy
see,
gets a
that's
ban?
not
Like,
a ban.
out of
No,
the
no,
blue, you.
Yeah, I don't think it's so stressful. I don't think a guy would.
First of all, there are like 10 guys in the room, like here. Can you get hard right now?
But
Because the movie set
Have
is
you been
way
this
the other
movie?
day.
I
Have you been in the
if
same
I
movie?
were with
I've seen
Natasha,
Natasha, yo.
Natasha.
if I were with
Natasha.
Natasha,
is probably one of the finest people
Don't say
Lookman
probably.
would have a problem.
in the
Probably.
entertainment
Remove
industry.
probably.
Remove
Yes.
probably.
That's
She
babe.
is.
She is.
Is so
She
freaking
is.
fine.
She's so
You guys,
fine.
have you
But
seen my
listen.
best friend?
You know what? Let's chill. Moving on.
Let me see my
Pfizer,
best
Gina
friend.
Maso.
First,
Pfizer,
Can you tell me real
This
quick?
was my question. Yeah. You see, for you know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how these things happen. So probably you may be comfortable with that because you understand that it's fake and all that.
Mm.
But I want us to look at us who are now watching
Yeah.
16 rounds, right?
Yeah.
You weren't there when they were shooting, but now you're seeing your
Yeah.
babe. Oh my God, like she's kissing
No, me
someone else.
honestly,
Can you date an actress?
I would have no problem. I would have no problem.
But if I've been in a relationship with a very attractive person, so I see them getting like
Approached
guys
by
being-
guys and
it's for me it's expected. Like
Right, that's okay.
right.
if you're hot, then that's meant to happen.
If you have a babe and
Yeah,
guys
if
don't
you're-
tap her,
If
then you
When
know
you're
clearly,
looking at
yeah.
it on
It's fine.
TV
There's a challenge.
and someone is
but you need
kissing.
some. I mean, if they get killed in the film, would you be surprised to see them home?
Okay. No. That's the next thing we're not at. So wait. So Bernard, would you date a porn actress? Because
I
that's
take
still
it
acting.
now you've really pushed
Yeah.
it.
It is still acting.
No, yeah, but that's pushing it now. This
Is
now
it?
throwing it on the edge. Like we were on the edge already with the acting.
But then
Now
think
you-
about this, like, where do
One
you
is a
separate
bit-
work from?
Yeah.
Like, how do you separate personal stuff from?
Because when she's there, she's actually making money.
She's working.
But
that
she's
day.
a job.
But she's acting like she's enjoying it. So at home, when
Because-
she's enjoying it,
Even
how
in the
do you
movie,
know?
even in the movie, she has to act
Yeah,
like she's enjoying it.
she's enjoying the kiss and the dance.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's
What?
different.
No, but yeah,
You're not seeing.
I know.
things.
But like you
There's
can't
some
come
things
up
that
with
are
that.
just-
Yeah, Loukman is trying to say it's so hard for you to know when you have hit the right point, when you haven't.
I feel like you need to leave
We
this
need to
subject.
move on.
We
but
need to
me,
leave.
All right,
I
Should
would
we run through
never
the
date.
week? Do we need to run through the
Yeah,
week?
yeah.
We do.
Tugambe, how your week was, please.
Man, my week was amazing, man. My week was crazy, bro.
Mhm.
Although I got to find out about the history of breakfast, man. That was one of the most fascinating things.
Like breakfast, the meal.
Yeah, like initially, like about 100 years ago, there wasn't breakfast. Did you know that?
So like
What?
guys will just
Yeah,
wake up
there wasn't
and go.
breakfast.
Just wake up and just
Just
raw
start
dog
the
life.
day and move on.
What the?
Yeah,
Or they
or
just
even,
wake up and eat lunch.
I mean, depending on what time you're
Yeah.
waking up. So yeah, but breakfast wasn't the thing.
So what's
So,
the history?
meat companies were also not making money. So meat companies reach out to some guy called Edward Bunny something? Edward something.
Symptom.
No, not yeah, but he was very good with PR and very good at propaganda. So they reached out to him, they talked to him, they told him, man, we need to increase our meat sales. How can we do this? So he reached out to a few physicians here and there and, did his thing with propaganda and so on and so forth. And apparently that gave birth to the whole idea of breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So foods like meat started finding their way on breakfast, chicken breasts, bacon, so on and so forth. And meat companies started making money. And hence the whole philosophy of you must have breakfast. Once you have heavy breakfast, you're good to go for the day. But trust me, have that CJ breakfast at about 10, 11 a.m. It's over for you the next 1 hour.
For us who wake up at midday, what happens?
Are you guys brunch guys now? Now let me find out about brunch.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please
Now I feel like I
Yeah.
need to tell.
It just
You know my friend called Claire? You know,
yeah.
We know,
Of course,
Yeah,
we
you-
know.
of course, we know Claire.
Come on.
Really?
Claire,
Hi,
well
Claire.
done. We miss
Claire.
you. We miss your company.
I was about to say something. I
Oh,
remember
God.
she has to see us next week.
Yeah.
has a tendency of reading about things that you could potentially think are like useless. Like
Yeah.
you're not like
But at
really
some
what's
point
the point of reading about this? And like when you were explaining about breakfast, I remember we were in class, I think last week, and then like a very serious class by that, and then she taps me and says, "Do you know what women used to do back then to get orgasms?" Like, no. And I'm looking at her like we are in class, and she was very invested in her laptop, like reading about this thing. So it turns out she was reading about hysteria, like how women are diagnosed with hysteria. And then it turns out back then women would get hysteria because they would never get orgasms. And then whenever they would go to
pent up.
hospital, they would go to hospital
Use
and
vibrators.
doctors would like touch them and massage their thighs and like and doctors did not realize what was happening with these women, but they knew that the first aid for this hysteria disease was massaging.
Kumbe the women are looking for an orgasm.
Yes. And it turns out it used to work a lot that at that point, women would, like, even when you didn't have the disease or whatever, you'd pretend like you have hysteria and all,
you go and
so that you go to hospital and like doctors.
To get that leg shake. Well, that leg shake is important, bro.
That's a good
Wait,
gig.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you,
Look, if you have hysteria,
they
or
would
if
really,
you think you have hysteria,
Yeah,
reach out.
Reach out to
In
me.
the comments.
Nothing serious.
This is your guy.
who were in
Wait.
class.
People can
You'll
even
be
use,
cured.
you can even use his head.
Yes.
Be cured.
And it turns out that is how actually the first dildos were invented. That is how the vibrate, like that's the history. But we were like in a very serious class, and then
Teacher
she
tell
kept
me-
standing to show me, like you see, Kati, like these men never really cared about women back then, and they could not give them orgasms. Oh my God. I was in shock. Now you were talking about that, and I'm thinking, you could be friends for staring. You'd be there reading about things that.
Yeah.
They don't make
Do you want to hear something interesting
Yeah.
about breakfast?
Yeah. Tell me.
So cornflakes was invented to stop people from masturbating.
Fuck off.
Serious?
I mean,
Wait, what?
anyone
Are you
anyone
serious?
watching can actually Google this.
What?
Man,
This
I'll
should be
just
fun.
have to take it.
Cornflakes
Like,
was
Because-
invented
Uh-huh.
to stop kids, so they would pour it in the bed or something. So when you move, it goes like.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shit. We need to send Bill like
This is like
10
a whole
boxes.
history lesson.
That's
Bill,
that's
expect
Google
some
cornflakes.
conflicts from the team.
How was your week?
How was my week?
It was used.
I was going to say it was hard, but that's
Yeah.
considering what we're talking about. Anyway, forget it. So, my week was a bit tough. Was a bit tough.
You arrested again.
Yes. No, I've had a very long week. I've been home most of the time. I wasn't feeling very, very well. There's a way the weather has kind of messed with me. I don't like this NRM weather.
Mhm.
It's the dry season and then it's raining heavily. It's the wet
But-
season and then it's too hot.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm interrupting. You're talking about a changing
Yeah.
weather system.
Yeah.
And then you're saying
And then you. I don't know, what are you talking
No,
about?
As in?
Yeah. It's good. It's good you've seen the irony.
Yeah.
No, but the
Yeah.
the
This
weather
one
is
also is
changing.
changing. The other one doesn't change.
What are you
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
change.
Exactly my
That one's
point.
a constant.
That's what they call juxtaposition. Putting two things that are different.
From a hard week to
Anyway,
juxtaposition.
as I was saying, yeah.
Indeed, it was a hard week.
It was a hard week for people. God damn.
I like the month of March a lot, mostly because there's a way, because people are celebrating, Women's Month and things like that. There's a way, at least the women in my life become they become more generous, right? They become kinder, they become nicer, they become,
Even Lent.
yeah, especially because of fasting, Ramadan and Lent. So they've been nice to me. A number of my female friends have been nice to me. And then at the end of the month, there's a basketball thing that's happening that I'm looking forward to. It's a Women's Day kind of thing organized by FUBA and shit. So I'm looking forward to that. Been playing some basketball and yeah, that's how my week has been.
Are
Should
the
we tell us about Manu and how you guys won?
No, I'm not
are
going
the Gazelles
I will not
ladies
talk
going to be
about
around?
Uganda played today. We lost though. At the time of recording this podcast, we are fresh from a loss to Mozambique. We lost 3-1 to a team that we have no business losing to. Honestly, they're horrible. But it appears we are
Well,
worse.
clearly the results prove something
Yeah,
different.
Yeah. So we lost that one, and I was supposed to come on this. I changed what I was wearing. I was supposed to come on this
I
pod
knew
with
it.
it.
And
You know this. You know how I operate, right?
I was waiting
I
for
had-
my turn to speak, so I asked
I had
you
a
what
jersey,
happened.
right? I had a Uganda Cranes jersey, but when they blew the final whistle, the game had ended. We had gotten a red card, poor performance, horrible show. I said, you know what? I'm not going to wear this. I feel too bad on the pod. So, yeah.
Oh, man, sorry about that.
Your
It's
pain
fine.
is
It
pain.
is what
No,
it
right?
is. It is what it is.
Sorry.
Look,
Tutuzo, eh?
look
Yeah?
your week.
Okay.
Look, man.
Yes.
How was your week?
That was interesting.
Yeah.
It was long and hard, like you said.
Long and hard.
You had a few cracks, you managed to go through it.
Yeah.
But you managed to beat it
A few
into
cracks,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
clapped it.
shape. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Just let it
The
happen.
long, hard clap.
But when a person like you says you've had a like a hard week or a difficult week or whatever, I don't think that compares to what my difficult week, for example, would be or is or whatever. Because me in my area, a difficult week is maybe clients are not
Pain.
Pain.
paying in time or things like that. Now your difficult week, I want to understand what that feels like for you. Like what exactly is.
It's pretty much the same thing, but with my name on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So that's worse. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
worse. Yeah.
The
Wow.
creative
So
industry.
if I'm waiting for like 1 million shillings, there's probably 100 million shillings is waiting.
Yeah.
It's the, di-
Yeah.
it's the difference is in the zeros and the name.
Yeah.
No. What I meant was.
That's a cool flex, though.
No.
That's a cool flex. Like yo, like listen,
I appreciate that that's what you guys think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I meant was same thing,
Yeah.
but just me
Yeah.
in my, because you see, we are all like the star in our own film. So
Yeah.
everyone's life is just as complex and
Absolutely.
as everyone else.
Absolutely.
yeah, pretty much the same things, family issues. We all have the same kind of issues.
Are there some projects that with deadlines that are close by that you've been working?
Oh yeah, I'm quite like with deadlines. Right now I have a couple of projects that I'm working on, commercials, and I think I'm doing quite well timeline wise.
Okay. That's
So it's not stressful there, but
it's a shocker.
there's some.
Ugandans, we don't keep time. We're not.
No, I'm quite straight with like how much time I need. So if the client disagrees, then we'll have that problem.
Okay.
But I usually know what time it will take, and if the client thinks that maybe I'm shortchanging them, and they say, let's say I say 2 weeks, and they say 1 week, we agree, but it's probably going to end up being 2 weeks.
Because you're the one doing the
Because
work.
I know, like there's some things like, for example, you guys who render. If you're rendering and the computer says 24
There's
hours,
literally you can't.
There's
do
nothing
it.
you can dance until you bleed.
Yeah,
nothing
but-
will happen.
Yeah.
So that's sort of thing. Yeah, but in general, my work was okay. I'm still alive. So
Yeah.
Nice.
My week.
Mm.
It was.
So you're online, first of all, so don't lie.
We know. Yes.
Oh.
I was gonna say you've been spitting fire, but when have you just
Let's-
spit fire?
No. My wait. My week was.
I'll toast to
I
that.
thought I was the only one who got it.
Was it your whole week?
Exactly.
Ooh.
By the way, let me tell you something. Social media, right? I told you guys, social media gives me anxiety. After time, I will make a tweet, and then after like 20 minutes, I will know, like, okay, this tweet is going to like cause this. I will immediately mute it and move on.
Oh, like let people make noise in their echo chamber.
And then people will be calling me with, you said.
But you actually reply some of these tweets.
That's what I'm saying. In those 20 minutes, I will see like the first 20 comments because sometimes I'll post something and like in that first 20 minutes, I'll have about 30 comments, right? So I'll respond to like 3, 2, actually.
And then boom.
And then I mute
mute.
and move
Sort
on.
yourselves.
And like people fight on there, then and the funniest
And you have an
part is
army that will be coming in the comments
Defending
fighting for this
I am
web.
very grateful for them. I am very grateful. They are fighting for the right thing, but I will mute and move on because I said what I said.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So this week you
And
fought.
I did not fight. In my opinion, I did not fight.
Or you started the fight.
I did not start a fight.
I think she called it something different. It's
What
not
did you
like
do?
a fight.
What-
What did you call it?
Basically, it was normal for her. It was
Well,
normal.
that's like a normal
Because-
You
Let
just
me tell you
shared your
something.
opinion.
I posted videos of my child, which normally I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get my point.
Mm.
I posted videos of my child. I did not talk about anyone. I only talked about my child. And someone asked about this person. So
You did the.
I
Okay,
was
so
not
apart
fighting.
from that
And
debacle,
that was like
what else
30
happened?
minutes of my day, honestly,
Okay.
of
Yeah.
the week. So yeah, other than that, I had a good week. I got some beautiful news. I hope to share on the next pod.
Are you serious? You're not pregnant again.
Oh,
I
wow.
said
That's good news.
beautiful
I
news,
don't- oh, okay.
and you said
I
pregnant.
don't know. I don't
But
know.
that should
You're
be
saying
beautiful
that
news.
that shouldn't be beautiful news?
Sorry, with who?
With your child. What do you
With
mean?
the child.
We don't care about who. We are just happy for you to be
Guys, I'm
pregnant.
not even joking.
Well,
That would have been good
Actually,
news.
Yeah.
don't say it out loud.
You're not planning on getting
Might happen by osmosis.
It might happen. Like, stop.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you got beautiful news.
Oh man, it would be so cool to have you on the pod when you're pregnant, man.
Shield it.
I'm just saying,
Don't
bro.
give her too many blessings.
no.
Do you know
Don't
how
give her
much
too-
I've been looking
No,
forward to
the
that?
bathroom breaks.
Like-
She does the bathroom breaks. I wonder what that is. I won't even ask, but let's just.
I know. Listen, guys.
It's like the
we
Statue
are,
of Liberty now.
we are not normally like this. We are not normally like this.
Share.
Relax.
These two have a fight going on.
Statue
We are
of
usually
Liberty,
very
well,
organized.
man.
And if you're watching this pod for the first time, we apologize, right? On behalf of Nothing Serious. The views that are being expressed here do not represent those of Nothing Serious. And the individuals,
Are you saying you
as
disagree?
foolish as they are being,
Did you see how you
they do
raised
not
your legs?
represent.
They are just not being serious right now.
Yeah.
But
We are,
on a regular day, we are very serious people.
But moving on.
Guys,
Very
stop
good
lying.
Good week.
You're
yeah?
not serious.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had a good
Awesome.
week.
Faisal,
Now,
Yeah.
for me,
how was the week?
the moment last week we dropped the pod early. I think we dropped it on Friday.
Friday, yeah, man.
Yo, but we missed a story.
Which one?
This guy, the Kenyan president, Ruto. So he told, you know how in Uganda we've been talking about machines.
Yeah.
So apparently, Ruto is going to get them a machine that's going to make 1 million chapatis.
Oh, chapatis.
Chapos. Like,
Yes, yeah.
we've come from porn machine to copyright machine. We're now on chapati machine.
Okay, guys, where did I throw my phone?
Ugandans
It's right there.
and Kenyans, same WhatsApp group.
1 million. So like this thing was trending because I remember when we left the pod, I was on Twitter, I was just seeing chapati, but Kenya, I'm like
Chapo, yes.
like chapati on the buildings, chapati on the rims. Like you guys, like our presidents, it's like this proves that they're in the same WhatsApp group because
They be
the
saying
ideas,
the
the ideas are the same. Yeah. So immediately we enter the weekend, zero power. Like
In our good
no meme.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've wanted to complain this weekend, but as like I've over complained.
Yeah.
These guys are leaving. There's nothing that's going to happen. So I just sat down and said, man, at least we're not back in the 90s where you expected the load shedding to like they would
Like
tell
you had a you had a
there's a schedule that would come out
Yeah.
in New Vision. And you know, man, 90s kids, the Gen Zs will never know.
They will not.
But back then
They'll find out.
you buy newspapers.
They're about to.
They're about to.
You would buy newspapers to know whether you're going to have power or not. And my mom, let me tell you guys a funny story about my mom. My mom used to love those soaps, the Salvadors and what. But there's a soap way before Salvador, Baywatch something.
Sunset Beach.
Yes, Sunset Beach.
Yeah.
So I kid you not, we used to live in Machindi. So when she get the paper, no, there's no power today. She gets a taxi, sleeps in Chiwatu. Oh my grandma.
So that she can
like, guys, adios. Yeah, because remember
Right
back
then.
then, there's no social media.
Yeah.
So if you miss the episode,
Yes,
you have
it's
missed. You've missed.
She was
You
ahead
are
of
the
her time.
mercy of the people around you to lie to
She was ahead of
you.
her time. So she would travel and spend the night the other side and watch it.
She wants to
me,
learn.
I'm
My
done. Me, I'm
grandma.
out of here,
Then
guys.
the next day, you find her after when you come.
But she has all the juice.
So now I would have been okay because I have a power bank. I have enough power banks. Like I anticipate this stuff. But
power bank.
tujja kyogerako. Tujja kwogerako. You remember that MTV meme? Tujja
Berindako.
tujja kumuyita. Yo, so power off, my insect repellent off. So I kid you not, in those 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I had malaria. Like just like that. That's and I wanted to also complain, but then I remembered I didn't finish my dose.
Yeah,
The
because
first time.
Last time, you remember?
Yeah. When I was chatting with you, you're like hospital. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hospital. What the hell is going on?
I'm starting to realize a lot of the problems in my life are of my own doing.
Oh wow, you're just realizing it now.
Like now,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, when you grow older, you stop blaming people. Like every time you want to say something, like, but Faizo.
But that's now growth. You know that is growth.
Yeah.
This
That
is
is
how
growth.
I know I
That
am
is
a
growth.
child because
You
my
blame other
mind
people, yeah?
is very convinced. 90% of my problems are not
Other
my own doing.
Anyway,
You'll reach where he is now.
as
I don't think Michelle is going to
I
reach there.
can't reach
That's it.
there.
That's
I
like
think
the
you will.
setting.
I
I
think she
really
will.
will not.
No, everyone does.
Yeah.
There was a time
Unfortunately.
Guys, not Mutuzo.
Yeah.
I used to blame others.
Me, I
I
can
need
bet.
you to know me.
Oh,
I will not.
This baby is a soft life babe,
I'm
right?
very
And
convinced.
most of
Problems out
when-
there,
when-
the
when
problems
she-
that I face.
I'm not your problem. I'm not
No.
your
when she
If I
when she
have
orders an
contributed-
Uber, right? When she orders an Uber, and she's system somewhere, she presses
Because
she even
and it's
ever
9,
ordered
right?
Uber.
And the
I
guy
don't
calls,
use
let's
Uber.
say
That's what I was
at
gonna say.
9:14. She's like 3 minutes. What were you doing in those? She doesn't know between her communicating and the guy receiving the message. There is internet. There's a lot that could happen.
I'm
What she's
very
like, why are you
self-centered.
delaying? For her, every problem that happens in her life is because there's somebody else.
Yeah.
If somebody sends money and it hasn't arrived, she's like, man, dude, you're not sending the money. What's up?
Because
But the guy has sent the money.
Yo,
As
man.
long as it's not me,
You should
anyone
arrive.
out there.
Speaking of
Dumb, she'll
90s
arrive.
movies, yeah, the sunset thing. Do you remember how Nigerian movies were like all over the place back then?
They flooded.
And me, there's one movie that stayed with me. There are two actually. There's one called Visitor because it had about Lucifer's son. What? I watched that movie at night. I didn't sleep for a year.
Message.
Not a week, not a day, a year. It was Visitor. You guys will look it up. I don't know if it's on YouTube. Then there's another Billionaires Club.
Oh,
Billionaires
The guys
Club.
who had a hat, and then when you remove the hats, there's like there's
Billionaires
business
Club was
happening in your head.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never
man.
watched
When you
Billionaires
mentioned
Club.
movies,
Yeah.
because we have
So,
this guy.
Exactly. Now this is what I wanted
Look,
to
man,
ask you.
did you ever watch those kind of movies, though?
I watched Billionaires Club.
Billionaires Club.
Everyone watched Billionaires
Yeah.
Club. You guys
Did you,
just
did you,
repeat
did you watch
before
Mr.
giving
Not everyone. I
Yeah.
did not.
Akina Popo?
More in a TV.
Yeah.
Why not TV?
Yeah.
Na
Sophia in
ye, I am
London?
a
Oh, yeah.
coward.
I love that.
Absolutely. Oh, those were like my
Classic.
favorites.
And I got to meet some of those guys. Well, not
Man,
Mr. Ian.
flex.
Yeah, but some of
Flex,
them, yeah.
man. You get
Flex.
those guys really short.
And Patience Ozoko is
Yeah.
supposed to be in
It's
the
the
country.
camera effect.
Those ones are
Yeah, look, man.
They're really short.
I read news somewhere.
I also read it.
Patience is supposed to be in the country.
I
Patience
saw
Ozoko.
the video. She
Yeah.
made a video. Those videos that
She's
people
supposed to
make
come
of
to
I'm
Uganda.
coming. Which. She made
Curious what
one.
she's coming to.
So
Maybe to
just
see
be at
you.
the awards.
Good, like,
She's coming for those awards.
But you know,
Yeah,
now
she's
that
coming for those
now
awards.
that you mentioned the whole 90s movies and whatever, it's good that we have a guy who is
A good
his
industry.
entire life.
Who watched those movies as well?
Yes, okay, well, yes,
Yeah,
watched.
yeah.
But also now is in a space where he's able to create and do a work magic, right? But I first want to find out from you that at that time when Nigerian movies became a big deal here in Uganda,
Yeah.
where were you? First of all, mentally, and did you see them as,
I should
oh,
be
this is
that.
interesting, I need to pick up on this? Or did you see them as, this is a joke? Or did you see them as, what are they doing right that we're not like, how did you?
No, I don't think I was in that space. Because I remember when I like one of the films I watched in my like
my
8-7 there.
Bring back
Must have been a war film, either The Thin Red Line or Saving Private Ryan. Or some of those Jackie Chan films as well. So when I watched those, in my brain I was thinking, well, I need to be part of this thing. I don't know how.
This,
But I need to like either be an actor or do this. When I was watching Nigerian movies, I was just looking, who do they bewitch? So I wasn't looking at it as
inspiration or learning.
and I'm not saying this as a diss, but in my brain I wasn't like
Why did you?
I guess I was exposed to better things. So this I was watching it as a story
Okay.
that may or
more
may
than
not
the
like
art.
it didn't feel like there were people filming it, or it just felt like this is like
Real life,
some
like
guy
it's going on.
has a phone and recorded some woman doing witchcraft.
Yeah.
You get it?
No,
For me,
I get.
there's a way it just felt like that. But again, sometimes you'll be pulled out and you see the boom. you know?
Yeah.
But with like Jackie Chan things, it's like it's inspiring. You watch it, you go outside and do the moves.
Yeah.
So there's something it does to you. I don't even know what that is. So
Was there ever any part of you that looked at this Nigerian thing and thought, okay, away from maybe phone camera or whatever, but why do many people like these things?
but I was one of the people that liked it. So I never wondered. I always felt like the stories
Like the business side of
this. So when you're watching, let's say, an American film, one of my favorite films at that time was like, I think must have been Terminator or something, Judgment Day.
Oh.
When I'm watching that film, I don't feel like it's something I can be part of.
Oh, if it feels, somebody else's story.
It feels like I'm watching a Nat Geo documentary with lions
I
eating
see.
gazelles, and that's not my life. I can never be there. When you're watching a Nigerian film, it feels like these could be your next door neighbors. Like the African just like
closer to home.
there's a way it just feels
scary.
more
Oh, I
attainable.
see.
It's even more scary.
That's why it was
because
always
it feels
scary,
like
because I feel
it
like
could be real.
it could be
I
real.
think this is the reason I've never watched Billionaires Club.
You should actually watch it.
Absolutely not.
You should.
Have you watched Nigerian movies? Let's start from
I have, but I am such a romantic, right? I cannot. The Nigerian movies I have watched are some man dying for
like
a
love
woman.
must be involved.
There was this guy.
It's Ramsey.
That's
There was
fine.
Ramsey Noah, and there was
There's
another
this
guy. I
guy.
think it was
Man, but
Ghanaian.
Ramsey had the women.
Van
on
Vick.
top.
Van
Yes.
Vicker. See,
Now,
I
those
watched
should
those
go watch
because
those
I
ones.
knew they were about
There's Mapenzi,
romance.
yeah.
Hey, those ones
Yes.
are Mapenzi.
My mom, I grew up in a home where the maid wasn't a maid.
Yeah.
She was just part of,
Like
the,
part of
family.
the
She
family.
was there to like help you, but not do the housework. So my mom would give us everyone your own housework. She would leave, and in 2 hours, everyone would be done because we
You need
haven't
to
laid
concentrate.
up.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched a lot of Nigerian movies. Or I
Romance.
actually can't tell
Romance movies.
Yeah,
Mm.
I can't tell the difference between Nigerian and Ghanaian movies, but
Yeah.
like that, a lot of
What
it.
is romance? Because to most girls, romance is when some guy is stealing some other guy's babe.
Absolutely not.
But tell me a romance
I d-
movie where
It doesn't
Actually,
involve.
which doesn't involve someone cheating. Tell me one.
No,
One
No,
example.
it's not there. It's not there.
I don't know the title, but I can tell you the story.
one?
Well, I think it was either Ramsey or Van Vika, and he had told him he saw this very beautiful chick, but he was very, very poor, and he told I think his friends
But
that
it
I
was the
can
rich
get.
guy who wanted the babe.
No. The babe was just a show off. And he told his friends, if I got money, I can win this chick over.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
And then the friends were like, it's okay for us, we shall collect the money and we
And we
give
shall
you
support you.
to make sure
Represent us.
to make sure you get that chick. And then he pretended to be like an army guy who had just come back home from the army, and he had the limousine and a beautiful apartment, and he was asking this chick out. The chick first refused, and then she later agreed, but she was agreeing because she thought the guy had
Money.
money. But I think like in the long run, she fell in love with the guy, but then the money was also
Mm.
getting done. Yeah, like that was the
Man, Nigerian
the
movies
plot.
had crazy
But I
storylines.
really love even if it's not Nigerian movies and whatnot.
Just generally.
Generally,
Mm.
I love
So
delusional
you love
movies.
A lot of times,
Not really.
romance because anytime you're making a film, you need a lot of drama. So
Yeah,
for drama
and
to
it's the
exist,
drama.
Dramatic effect.
sometimes
It's
like
cheap.
the Titanic, you need a rich guy, a chick
Yeah.
that looks at a homeless guy on the
Yeah,
boat,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
But
they fall for
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But you get the
And then that's
like,
what women think is like.
the
romance.
whole plot is now.
Me, I
Claire
can't.
introduced me to Korean drama,
Jeez.
and I used to hate it so much because I hate things where I don't understand the language. But then she like forced me to watch it. She
Subtitles
kept
and
saying, "No, just watch like one episode or two." And now I am hooked. I'm here sitting and I'm thinking about
You're
what
thinking
happened
of
in
it.
the next.
Guys,
Yeah.
But
Look,
you
man.
see,
Nah, no,
Loukman.
never, can never be me.
Feature
Feature
film.
film. I really like anything that has to do Simanya war,
Mm.
killing each other. I promise I can't watch it. Horror, why? I need to go to sleep.
Wait,
Happy.
so you're not a horror fan?
No, you
Not
see
even a
that
thriller
movie?
movie fan?
No, you see that movie that has the poles on a
Oh
trap
my
that people
God.
always refer to.
Final destination.
Final destination.
I have never watched them.
Great.
I will never
So you've
watch
never watched
them.
a Saw
But
series?
do you see the difference
I've
between
never. I'll never.
between you and I? I like my violence in cinema and media. I'm not violent in real life.
Oh, well played. Well
Yet
played.
for her,
Well
she
played.
doesn't like violence.
However,
However, in real life,
But are you guys getting it or you're not getting it? But do you remember what they talked
Well
us
played.
about? Unlike
Well
Paul.
played.
Wow, I
Unlike
didn't
Paul.
see how that was
Yeah.
going to
But
end.
look, man, I wanted still talking about films. I wanted to, get it from your perspective. Feature film, short film, preference.
I only make short films because I don't have money. Feature films are very expensive,
Okay.
but there's way more money to be made on feature films. Short films, you make them, put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's really-
And I'm
before
talking
you even
talking
go
about
there,
short films.
For us, the non-knowers of things,
Mm.
what is the difference between a feature film and a short
yeah,
motherfucking
man,
film?
me, I just
What the
kept
fuck are you
quiet. I
saying?
was like, yo,
Look,
like,
man,
let
What's-
me finish,
what's
and
a
then we'll
short film?
move
What's a
on.
feature film?
So I think anything above 40 minutes is considered a
Feature film, yeah.
length.
Anything above 40 minutes
40
is a feature film.
Yeah.
Anything under that is
You
typically
could, so I've done short films that are like 26 minutes, 30.
yeah.
But a lot of times when you send them to festivals, if it's beyond 5 minutes, it becomes a problem to program. So they have like all these short films
okay.
that got it from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So now you have your one short film that's 20.
And they're
It's
like,
taking
where
up
do we-
space for all these 5 minutes things
I
that they have.
see. So the
So it
shorter
has
the
to be
better.
that good for them to throw away all these short ones. Because the short ones
Mm.
help them, like when they put a big one
Mm.
and another big one, they need these short ones to fill up the space.
Okay, give people breathers and whatever.
Yeah, so usually short films are like quick ideas, like a small concept.
Yeah.
and-
So which do you prefer?
I prefer feature length.
Give it your
Yeah.
time, make it
Very-
But
intense.
he does short films because
Very
feature films are expensive.
Yeah.
And talking about short films, I want us to use this opportunity to clear the air. Because I think a couple of days ago, the news was awash in regards to your situation going on with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Just so we are clear,
Yeah. Aye.
historically, this is the first entertainer I've met who has a bit of a law to do situation with an international brand. So I'm very privileged to have you on Nothing Serious episode 10. But what's going on? First tell us.
What happened? Give us a background. What
I've
happened?
watched the short film. You know, it's the cyclist and they sip on their Red Bull. The next thing they throw the can and it happens to land on a dead body. And of course, you know, the investigator comes in and so on and so forth. And it seems like they will have the wrong, you know, fingerprint also. But now Red Bull seems to be up on your neck. What's going on?
So there's two sides to this story.
Okay.
There's the absolute truth, and then there's the showbiz truth.
Oh,
Okay.
so let's first hear the showbiz.
Let's begin with the showbiz.
Yeah.
So
So that's
showbiz-
more fun.
The showbiz truth. So the letter, you have the letter, and then people are going crazy about the letter, and
Yeah.
I ignore it
Mhm.
because I'm big-headed,
Of course, obviously.
and then that's the
So what's the absolute truth?
The absolute truth is that letter is a fake.
Snailington. I told you.
Yes.
Oh.
It's
Guys,
a
you have to
joke.
watch
Yeah.
his movies.
It's a
till the
joke
end.
because the name of the snail in the film is called Philip,
See?
and the letter comes from a guy called Philip Snailington.
Snailington.
It was a joke in plain sight, but we were
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
They said something. If you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book.
It's always a good thing. Oh, that was a smart one.
did I
That was
say?
a
Oh,
nice one.
shut
That
up.
was a nice one.
No, but guys, you need to learn. It's this guy. Mabo.
I think
Watch the movie till the end.
Listen.
What's come?
I mean,
Just
people
stay.
had to know, man.
the importance,
These movies.
Twitter was
only-
crazy.
only
Everyone
scripts
was
are
like,
like that.
the
Only
importance,
scripts are
the
like
importance
that.
of this question and the response is that now the next time there is any Loukman Ali production,
You have
Yeah.
to watch till the end.
even after you've watched till the end,
Yeah.
go to the comments because
Never know.
you've not watched the whole
Let me
thing.
tell you.
Go to his account, find out. So is there a background story? Is there something he's not telling us? Like
Call him if you can. Be like,
Call him
yo,
if you can.
I just watched this movie.
So,
What's going
The
on?
person in the yellow jumper was that color yellow? Did you mean red?
Talking about the yellow jumper, there is a character that for me continuously appears in most of your short films, the films you've done. Shout outs to you, Michael Wauyo Jr., by the way, very good friend of mine.
Brilliant actor.
Yeah, very
Brilliant.
amazing. Why, man? Why Michael? You seem to have him in literally a fleet of all your movies and series.
Yeah.
What's so
I
special
love
about
this
Junior?
question because I can finally get it out of the way.
Oh,
Yes,
this is
yes.
good.
So, you guys
Yeah, move on.
are dealing with your own production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know how complicated it is, like how expensive it is to get equipment and all these things. So for something like let's say a short film, I've hired equipment. I'm using these cinema cameras that are quite expensive
Yeah.
to hire. A day might cost me around 10 million shillings.
Holy
I'm
fuck,
sorry,
that's
what?
awesome.
I hope our guys
Even
don't
more.
hear.
This is like
What?
I hope our video guys don't
Look,
like
man, you're
that.
fucking rich, bro.
Like a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like a
10 million?
day.
Moses,
And you pay this like upfront before you take the camera.
no, I'm not saying just the camera. Think about the sound.
Yeah, but okay,
It's like-
Moses,
whatever.
you're not part of this
Whatever.
This
conversation.
transfer.
By the Moses, I hope you're not listening to this shit.
Hold your ears.
Producer, you're not listening.
I'm allowed 7 million in Kumi.
Together.
Kumi.
Uh-huh. 10 million one day.
Yeah. So I'll break it down for you. The ARRI costs what 2.5. The lenses cost 500. So that's three.
Yeah.
That's 3M. So that ARRI comes with someone. It needs a car to travel in.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all these things
Oh,
you
yeah.
collect. One day like this can cost you. And 10 is minimum.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with like a lot of gear and a lot of things, because equipment tends to be the cheapest on set, because painting and building sets is very, very expensive.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when you think about all those things, let's say I have all these things around now. So now someone is saying, "Look, man, why don't you get a new face?" So now here is what's going to happen if I get someone that doesn't know what they're doing. We're going to keep doing. Can we do that again? Can we do that again? Can we do that again? A lot of people who are not professional actors, they'll get frustrated by like take 10.
Yeah.
So like, why am I repeating all these things? Why am I repeating?
Mm.
But professionals know that sometimes you can repeat as many times
And
as it
they're
takes.
okay with it.
And they're okay with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you're stressed about, I need to finish this before the sun sets. I need to finish this, or else all this
Tomorrow
money
this
I've
is a new
paid, I have
expense.
to pay again. So now, anytime you send out, let's say auditions, and people send in their tapes, you're watching and you're thinking, is it good enough that I'm willing to suffer and try to get
to be patient and
patient
and pay
and if I
for
have
a
to pay,
second
I'll
day
pay
or
for
a
it.
third day or
You
a
know?
fourth day.
Is it that if it's not as good, it's not better than the guy I already have.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me just go back to this guy because with him, the results are predictable. I know that he will perform. He will come on time. He'll do these things. He will not get because when you're stressed about, as a director, you're stressed about so many things. You're worried about this. You're the one who takes care of everyone. So now you're thinking, okay, if this guy, the guy that is leading my movie, if he taps out,
I am fucked.
I'm done.
It's over.
Like I have to pay again to get someone else to do this. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is why you find that even like think about the talent pool from Uganda. There are not very many people that are doing what actors are
you
doing.
guys are doing.
It's not very many people. So we're pulling from like 20 people. And you can tell this when you watch Pearl Magic. You'll see that all the shows, they seem to be the same people. There's a reason to that. Now, when you go to places like Hollywood, where they can pick from China, they can pick from South Africa, they can pick from anywhere they want. And still, you'll find that you see DiCaprio in the same movie.
Yeah,
he's appearing.
I was actually going to mention that even in Hollywood, where
there's
they
so
have
many people
ridiculous
and there's
budgets,
money.
you find
they
that
tend to
that
go.
Quentin Tarantino has actors he loves to work with,
Yes.
right? You know, you find that Lucas has actors he loves to work with.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg has actors, not because there are not so many actors, but there are people who understand.
If you watch
the way he
Terminator
works.
1, you watch Aliens, Jim Cameron, you find that he's using he's using the same people.
Yeah.
He's just changing them around. And the reason for that is I work with this person, we have a relationship.
They know
they understand what I want.
Mm.
These days when I'm doing my soundtracks, before I used to sit at Quad A and literally watch the guy play
Yourself.
He plays the keyboard. I'm like, I'm not sure about that. Now I can send it to him and I sleep. In the morning, I'm like, maybe remove that. Like
you've worked together for a while.
Worked for a while. So now if I have to work with someone else, it would the guy I'm working with has to die, I think. Because or the guy that's coming to replace this guy has to be so good
and worth it because
there's so much money at stake. Some of these people might be like, I will do it for free. You coming in for free doesn't change the fact that I'm
paying for these other things. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. So for me, what I would do if I was an actor trying to get into these things, I would find a way. How do I get into this production without costing anything, so that I just win the trust of even other people that are watching
for future projects?
Because a lot of times people say, "Oh, I can't work for exposure. Exposure doesn't pay rent," but everyone works for exposure.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
Even right now, you'll see someone like our president who gets money and whatever. But if there's a political thing they have to do with, let's say, Trump in the White House, and it's going to bring some publicity to our country, and it's free, they will invest money into it to fly there and do the free thing just to get whatever thing they get out of it. So we all have to do that, and I think people have to do a bit more of that. Like show up, show your talent, and try not to be expensive and cost, because there's so many other costs you might not look at as an actor that are already there.
The truth is, we're trying to audition our team here, but guys, you've gotten it, man. So no,
but they know it. They should know it. If you've shot before, you know how expensive. Like for example, the sun is from around 6, where it looks the best.
And you have a small window.
Tiny window, minutes.
You can't.
If someone gets the lines wrong one time, let's do it again. Second time, the sun is like dipping so quickly. If they don't get it, you have to come back tomorrow. Transport again, lunch again. So those things add up. So you do that once, because I've done that. I've tried to bring different people on. So you do it today and you're like, I'm paying again tomorrow. Mike, what are you doing today? So he comes in, because with him,
he's going to give you.
I won't have to get these things on the third day.
I hear you.
So it's purely that.
With that background, you ever felt like you need to, maybe relocate from the country? Because a couple of entertainers that have left.
He's the only one we have.
You guys not coming back.
Listen, guys.
They're just
Listen, guys. Brain drain. He cannot have the idea right now. Brain drain is fucking serious. We know of some entertainers that have relocated.
Tourism industry.
And I'm asking, is it something that has crossed your mind? And you're saying, you have a few people you can actually work with, a few people that can understand your craft, and you're looking at maybe the financial muscle, and maybe it crosses your mind because you've been to Kigali, you've been to Kenya, you've worked in different countries in East Africa, and you have a bit of history of how the system is there. Has that occurred to you, and you're back to Uganda and you're like, I think I need to relocate.
Let me go
Fuck
to
this shit.
Nigeria or South Africa or whatever.
There's a number of times. I think because I worked in Norway for a couple of years. When I came back, I was excited to come back.
Why did you come back? I need to understand.
Okay, so I don't know. I'll explain.
Okay.
When I was working abroad, I'm going to try to explain this as
Take your time.
okay. So when you're working abroad in a job that's demeaning, there's a way your life feels. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, so I had a good job when I was abroad. I had a really good job. I was getting paid pretty much the same as like other people. So there wasn't any like I'm a black guy or whatever. So when you're at that point, your suffering is different. Your suffering is psychological. My family is not here. I don't have like meaningful friendships.
Put a figure to that.
I don't have. There are things like that someone who's working, let's say cleaning up, the work occupies your brain. So you don't have to think about, like when I go to a supermarket, people are looking at me like I can't afford the shoes. Now I have to buy shoes I don't like to prove a point. Like you do that a couple of times, you're like, you know what, in Uganda, at least I can get some respect. In Uganda, at least I have my family around. When I'm depressed, I can drive to my mom, things like that. They seem like very small things.
But they mean a lot.
But at the end of the day, I mean, what's life really? So this is the thing. Why do you think people that, when you get money, think about this, think about this. If you get money,
the key.
Think about all the money you need.
You get money.
Yeah, because I've had a point in my life where I've achieved the money I've wanted to have, and I've gotten it, and you'd think you'd feel better, but that's the thing, you don't, because because
I don't know why I don't fucking believe that. I'm being It's okay. It's okay.
But first, listen.
the truth is,
Relax.
no.
You have the money you want.
The poverty is loud.
And God damn.
That's why poverty right now is loud.
Loud, it's screaming. Woo. Let's first.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's first listen to the
Let me
What I'm trying to tell you is that money problems can be fixed with money. That's the thing about
and
money.
nothing else except money.
It will fix
money problems.
Yeah, so if you don't have money, you don't have school fees, you don't have these things.
Those can be
once you
fixed.
get money, those things are gone. So now think about this. If you have, let's say you have $1 billion US dollars, what are you going to eat? You're not going to eat 5 chickens.
Thank you.
You can only eat a few, like
one at a time.
Once you go through all the chickens you can eat, once you go through all the cakes you can eat, in like 3 years, then what? Then you'll be depressed.
I need to first go through those 3 years for me to find out.
That's a very crucial point.
You don't think about
do you guys now see
all rich people are like depressed because once you solve money, because
they do billionaire club
I
shit.
feel like you need money problems for you to exist in the world, and you feel like you need to accomplish something. Because every time you feel like, oh, look, I need to save and buy this car. If you have $1 billion, there's no car you can't afford. That's no longer a problem.
Ali.
So then what do you do?
Ali,
Yeah.
you know how you
Aspiration.
guys told you I'm such a soft life girl?
99?
I promise you.
99 bottles of oil.
I don't need 20 cars. I need one car, okay?
Yeah.
I don't need 20 chickens, one, and then I go to sleep peacefully. I will not be, the things that will probably depress me will be maybe romantic problems.
Exactly.
Why are you saying maybe?
Maybe, because let's me tell you.
Definitely.
Romantic. Like Mtuzo might have romantic.
But I feel like even when you have money,
I don't understand how you guys
still
can't see this.
complaining.
Right? It's
Right, because tuongeza wavu.
Yes.
You get it's like you get
Yeah.
Think about the people in government. Do you think, I'll talk about like our president, for example. Do you think he lacks money?
no.
Why do you think
Fuck
he
no.
still has to wake up and do all these things he has to do?
Yeah.
There's something else
I
that
can't
There's another
answer that
driving-
question as we are
there's
shooting.
something that money can't buy.
Ask again
That's-
when we are
yeah.
done rolling.
I think also something that there's something that you mentioned that for me it strikes a very, very strong chord with me, that there are certain problems, as a human being, you say, okay, you have those problems and you're struggling with them. I want the opportunity have those problems, right?
Yeah.
And very many people say, I also want to be in a situation where I'm wondering, this 5 billion, should I put it in this account or that account? Like, that's your problem. I also want to have that problem, right? But you see, every
That includes the problems they want.
And the problems is thinking about when he has money.
but you see,
and not problems.
but you see, listen.
You have an accountant to do that for you. You just think about that.
You listen.
You just tell your accountant.
Faisal, listen. Every level of life you get to, right? Every socioeconomic level of life you get to, comes with its own problems, right?
And the problems are appropriate.
And those problems are appropriate for that level,
Yeah.
which is why a kid in nursery, for example, when they're studying for there's an exam, it is hard. It is very hard for them. A kid in P7, when they're studying for PLE, it's the end of the world. Now you, after you've crossed that stage, you're like, PLE was just peanuts because you've crossed it.
Yeah.
When you're in S4, you're like, fuck, what the fuck is this? Now, an S6 person is like, this was peanuts. When you get, so every stage you get to in life has problems that are commensurate
problems.
That level.
And this is why rich people, they
Yes.
always try to create problems. Like,
Yes.
They want to build a bridge. They're giving themselves goals because if you don't put challenging goals for yourself,
Yeah.
you die of depression.
Yeah, life can become
You
meaningless.
buy 900
So
bottles of
Loukman,
baby
what-
oil.
What kind of problems do you think you have? Like rich man problems or wealth man problems?
I don't think it's even
I think
financial.
for me, I can try to think in a level I might not be at, but I can try and imagine what it would. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say, hypothetically, in my life, I was like, oh, I'll never get $1 million. And let's say I got $1 million, right? And now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if I was to spend this much daily, how much would this money last me?
Yeah.
Right?
Which means I need more.
And no, without working ever again.
Okay.
If I spent this, I think I would be fine. And then you start thinking about, all of a sudden, you're worried about the people that you think you love. Now, do they really like me? Do they like
So
me?
money is no longer an issue.
So, yeah.
Now there are other
Now you're
emerging
thinking,
problems.
okay,
Yeah.
like all the things I'm doing, like what's the meaning of this? Like you start thinking
What's
about
the
those,
end goal?
and you know what's the funny thing is, the problems of money can be solved like that. But now those problems that are coming to
Are
you
not,
right now,
yeah.
they are not solvable. These things you always ponder.
They require time.
This is why
dedication,
whenever you
commitment.
get like a huge chunk of money, you're thinking, okay, now I need to find a problem that will keep my mind occupied. So I don't have to think about these.
Not me, guys.
That's why people drink. That's why people drink alcohol.
And I also think
Gotta
because
tell
I
you
got
guys
dog
what?
living, I don't drink all
Oh, by the way, I don't even.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you that.
Yeah?
I was going to ask you
I
that.
don't smoke.
Like you
I
feel
was
all
gonna-
the
do you
way
hang
in
out?
your
Do you like go to the bar and
His social life, guys.
It's a bit too
His
loud.
social
How do
life.
you?
the bar is too loud for
The
you?
only time you see Loukman is when he's banging
set?
awards.
Or-
He's
Hey!
banging awards. That's the only time
And
you
in the
see.
bank.
So how the
Because
fuck do you
I'm
celebrate?
It's like a shibang.
How do
Every
you
event,
celebrate?
I've
Like
been
how
to-
do you
I
celebrate
even
this
stalked him on
milestone?
IG. Nothing.
By the way, I think
The only time you see
I
Loukman
think-
is
Wait,
Loukman
Wait. Eh?
pick your
Wait.
award.
Okay,
Yeah,
first
he's
time.
talking about how he celebrates this milestone.
Thank you.
What do you do?
Okay, so what? Okay, so again, what might look like a milestone from the outside?
For you to come
Might not necessarily be a milestone. I hope it's not coming off the way.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's not there.
I'm
Just
saying is
tubade
this. So
to
no. So, let's say, for example, you have someone in the car,
Yeah.
and you're driving, and you want to buy a full tank, right? But you're with someone in the car. This someone you have in the car, let's say rides a border.
Yeah.
So you get to the petrol station, you reach for your wallet. You find that you only have 100K left. Or let's say you have let's say you have 50K left. Your plan was to get
Buy
a
a
full
Full tank.
So you pull out the 50K. You're like, 50K fuel. This was 50K.
That's a lot.
You understand?
But for you,
What you had in
You
mind
wanted it.
was something different. So sometimes, like for example, my first film, my intention was to make like a film that I'm proud of. Now I made a film that went wherever it went, but it's not something that I wanted to be like. I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted it to be better. It wasn't well written. It wasn't like there's some things that weren't good in my eyes. So regardless of how
the world received
praise,
it. Yeah.
me personally, when I'm alone and there's no one clapping, whatever, and I'm looking at the movie myself,
Yeah.
it's cringe.
Oh.
So
my
when I
God.
create the
Yeah,
film and I watch it and I'm happy, like for example,
Yeah.
Ubuntu Uppercut, I'm
Yeah.
quite happy
Oh,
about that.
yes.
So when I'm watching that alone, even if there's a crowd of people saying boo,
you can shut them out, and
I'm happy. I'm like, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
So I prefer that kind of life where I'm happy about what I've done for myself.
This
then I don't
makes
care
so
about
much
it.
sense. My little brother got his results last week. Last week, right? Results came out last week. And he got ASC in BCM.
wow,
My mom was
that's massive.
crying, like whining of,
That's-
oh my
no,
God,
that's
you
brilliant.
made me, listen, see?
Mhm.
Please,
You
someone in your
made
family
me
is brilliant.
proud.
Oh,
Hey.
wow.
Oh,
God damn. What a way to end the pod.
This any drag pattern, any drag pattern. Moving on. No, go on.
To my parents.
No. Go on.
He didn't mean it like that.
Yeah,
But-
I did, yeah.
It's all
My
love.
twin brother is a civil engineer. My little brother is
Woo.
going to probably do medicine. And I'm doing what
But
I'm
basic-
doing. So my
yeah.
parents have really smart kids. Leave alone my Cavayo. But
Mm.
now
You
everyone
have a dope bestie and dope school. Like, man, give us some
Everyone
credit.
was-
Those genes you come from. You're lucky
No.
to be.
everyone was calling my little brother enjoy.
Yeah.
And then this is the funny bit, as in the sitting room. So I call his headmaster and I'm like, hey, Marvin afunye maker. And the guy tells me, yeah, you're funye 18, but we don't know what happened in math, because everyone knows his potential in math, right? And apparently it's like the easiest of the combination. So no one was understanding, like the teachers, no one was understanding how he could get an A in biology, an A in chemistry, and a C in math.
math.
It wasn't making sense. So when he told me 18 and then he's like, A in biology, I was screaming. So I called him. He was in the bedroom. I'm like, hey, you got 18. He walked away. And everyone was in the living room was like, what? What? So he comes back pissed. I don't know when my little brother gets pissed, his vein here like comes out, like you can see the vein is out.
Man wanted
He
20.
looks at me and he
Kamala
says,
yo.
how did I get the 18? I'm like, oh, you got an A and a C. And he looked at me and he said, did you say a C in math? I'm like, yeah. He went to the bedroom and didn't talk to anyone for hours. Meanwhile,
Out here, they're celebrating him.
we were celebrating.
In there,
my aunties called me and cried. My grandmom was like, you know how they call you and they are praising, like 10 days out.
Ululation.
And he wasn't picking calls. And my parents were asking me, we are trying to call, but he's not picking. And I'm like, they don't know what to explain.
Yeah.
But it later occurred to me that actually we are celebrating, but we've forgotten to consider what the person wanted for themselves, right? So I sat him down and I'm like, okay, why are you not happy? Talk to me. And then he told me, do you know how much effort I put into math?
I see. Yeah.
I cannot get a C. I am like,
Okay.
It makes sense now.
Yeah.
okay. He's like, yeah, 18 is good, but like I did not work for a C. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
I did better. I'm like, okay, what do you want? How can we make this better? It's like, I want a remark. I'm like,
Bro, man.
I got 13 and I danced all the way home.
I know, right? Right?
That was
but
HSC.
like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Because I didn't work
At all.
I-
And 13 is
I was-
when you're not
I
working
never,
at all.
no prep, not even one day. Never read a book even once.
and this
I got an
boy
A-
would
got
Number-
an A in art.
Number
and I was
mwakolanga bino bya
But you
aggregate
see,
25.
what I'm saying is, I get to a
Of
point.
course, now that was our time.
The 70s, let me
We
tell you.
be
it was
celebrating
different.
you.
What did you
We'd
get?
be like, oh my God,
the-
look,
how
man,
was the
you
marking
got
like in
award
the
for
same?
you.
It was the same marking.
You're like,
25,
No, but that's we had
I
four
expected
principles.
better. You get
Four
yeah.
principles
But
plus
today-
G. So the total was
Yes.
25.
It applies.
Yes. That's all of us.
I
No,
remember
Fernando got 25. No, at 25.
No.
Michelle were 20.
You got
I got
25
17
points.
though. Right now they work out of
Man went to
20.
Chitende.
Hey,
First we passed.
There's something I want to
How
say.
was
You
the
had how
points
many?
helping us?
There's something I
Just now
want
to
to say very
Chitende,
quickly.
I passed.
They
That's
probably had like a 24 something.
23.
It turned
You
out
had
people
23.
pass. Listen, there's
Yeah,
something I want
so
to
you
say.
basically had like an 18 in this era.
But me, I was happy. I wasn't like you, bro.
Oh my
I know,
God,
no,
he's happy
listen,
now, but
I
he's
think-
not impressed.
I think
Like people
there's-
keep telling
there's-
him congratulations.
There's
and
two
he's
things,
just-
yeah. First of all, I want you to because there's very many people in the space of creating content and being being into the entertainment
How much
industry,
time?
whether it's music, movies, whatever it is. Yeah.
What?
And the one thing
So
that
explain.
people struggle with in this country,
How many minutes?
and they don't talk about enough, right, is how celebrities cope with everyday life. A good number of them get into using drugs, illicit substances, and alcoholism.
Cola.
Let's not go far, guys. Kanye West.
Yeah.
Have you seen his rampage online?
I think Kanye West is on drugs.
He's lost it.
He's not.
I need you to speak to how you've been able to, first of all, remain sane.
You're saying celebrities. Why are you asking me this?
Okay, you're friends with them.
Doing no
Okay,
Netflix.
yeah.
You're friends with them.
No.
You get.
This is the guy. This is the guy. Moses Namugambye, Loukman Ali is the guest. He also talking about the Netflix guy.
Yo.
So
Yeah.
I want you to first.
Yo.
Yeah.
I told someone we're hosting Loukman. I'm like, man, because does he have like Netflix passwords? Does he have free Netflix passwords?
That's so full of shit.
I had never thought about it. I also
Yeah.
first said, I was like, by the way, when they put your movies on Netflix,
Why?
there could be
Don't
an
they give you like a
incentive. Yeah, they could give you like free, like 10 discount codes to you.
Saying.
Do they?
But
When they put my film,
ignore these
I was
motherfuckers.
even using my ex's side
Eh?
guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chite, leave it.
Today,
Let it go.
for
Let
the
it-
next
let it go.
episode.
So what I wanted you to do is, because what we pride ourselves in, nothing serious, is as much as we're nothing serious, we always want to give people value, right? So the one thing that I think you could give them value in is how somebody who is in the entertainment industry, which in Uganda can be very toxic, right?
Is
How
toxic.
it is toxic, but
toxic.
how they are able to stay sane, not lose themselves, not get involved in drugs and alcohol and
This
whatever,
guy is not
and
sane.
still remain somewhat relevant. How are you don't drink alcohol, you don't smoke, you don't
go to bars.
you don't have random wild vices. You're not a spendthrift that will see you with a like on
You
the
don't
street.
know
Don't
that.
know.
Okay, so help us understand how you're able to remain sane and sober in that
Am I?
as an entertainer, because entertainers are wild people. How are you not wild?
I don't know. I think I guess I'm easily entertained by things. So clubs are a bit too loud for me, and because I don't drink, I don't understand why people are very happy.
Why do you not drink? Is it a religious, health?
In the beginning, it was
What's-
a religious thing, but then in the end, it was more of like a health thing.
Okay.
So I don't drink for that reason.
Okay, go on.
Like, take a leaf.
I don't have health
Actually,
issues.
Take a forest.
What's your problem?
Carry the whole. Sorry.
We don't.
What
Go
are
on.
you, by the
Look
way?
who is talking.
No, moving on.
Pick the garden.
Please.
So there has been times when I'm like, oh, I try with tea, I try this,
Yo,
because the
What times are those?
take my number.
times where there are times where you feel like you could use a bit of relaxing,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
know where we're not thinking about all the stresses of life
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, but I find that I guess staying playful and just transferring that bad energy to others.
Oh, let others be.
No. So like on social media, if I'm feeling, and you can tell that I'm actually might be stressed.
Yeah.
If I go online and just start commenting on everyone's having opinions,
Oh.
I'm just trying
That's your playtime.
I'm just looking for trouble. Someone please come and we start a fight here so I can blow off some steam.
Well, why are you pointing at me?
No, I feel like the
Like
both of
what
you
we're
relate.
showing people, like you have a new hair,
In that-
the hair is still
Okay.
fresh and stuff.
But so for people in the entertainment industry, right? Because sometimes people get into drugs very easily.
To be honest,
alcohol and
as long
whatever.
as you're not hurting anyone,
Yeah.
some
Or you're
Just
hurting
yourself.
yourself.
there's some drug. Yeah, I was going to say there's some
Okay.
drugs that can hurt you seriously.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had alcohol is like on the top
Top
5.
Yeah.
Heroin
Top
is not
2.
even in there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's quite bad
It
when
is.
you
It's
think
horrible.
about it
It
health
is.
wise.
It is.
If you're having kids, you're thinking, okay, I want to be alive when my kids. Things like that. So, if it's not hurting you or anyone else, I mean, just do you. To be honest, me, I don't believe in
Inhibit, like holding yourself
like be
back.
moral. And if it makes you happy, do it. Life is really
You got me on just do it.
life
Just
is
do
really
it.
short and painful, and
That's how we started.
everyone has their own struggles.
Yeah.
So just
Puff,
have
puff,
fun.
puff.
And when it's good. It's good
Hey,
to
you
mention,
also wanna-
be Like, just
Loukman,
do
I
it,
can
right?
just
If you
do
feel
it.
like it, just do it.
Just do it.
My other question to
The
you,
last one.
my other question to you is, in the you have moments of self-doubt, obviously, as any person would,
Yeah.
right? You have moments where you're like, you're not so. But I don't think I have ever seen anything you've done or read anything you've done that has self-doubt in it. But I know you, when you're sitting back, like when you're in your house alone and whatever, you have moments where you're like, this one was a very poor job. This one was a very... How do you self-critique? Do you ever self-critique?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm
how would you recommend our musicians, specific and especially, I'm not going to mention names, but how would you advise our musicians, entertainers,
bro.
self-critique?
Today you're on fire,
Let
man.
me rephrase it. Those guys are not going to help us. Advise our video team. Because we want to go with these guys very far.
How can they? How can they self?
How can they become like you?
How can they
Because, man,
Moses,
I don't think that they have to.
Moses, Savannah, from the passport.
honestly,
We are going
I don't
very
have
far.
money to tell you guys. I'm going to ride with these guys till like episode 200. You see Moses, let me tell you guys something.
Moses, so in a passport.
I started working with Moses when he was in third year in school, like in Makere. Like you call him, you're like, bro, where are you? We have an ad to shoot. I'm in a lecture. Like we will wait. Yeah. But
in a passport.
amazingly now the man them has graduated. My first show, he's running it. Our first show, rather, he's running it. So to
the self-critique,
our team here, how can
people grow?
because sometimes we all drop the ball, honestly, even us. But to our team here, they may not have the time to ask.
Well done.
Give them
So
the
for me
tip.
personally, I think that self-doubt is actually a good thing. You know, the study done by Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah.
So basically, the less you know, the more you think that you know. So if you're shooting and you think you know, then you definitely don't. But if you're doubting yourself and you're shooting stuff and you're like, this is not, it means that you are aware that you might not know some things, which is funny because the more I read about writing and
the more you realize there's a lot.
The more I realize that I really don't know much. But then the comfort in that is that whatever I know, I just try to make what I mean, I can only do what I'm capable of doing now. I can't like jump into the future and get knowledge I don't have already. So it's a bit it makes you feel like you're not, but it's also comforting because you know that the mere fact that I know that I'm not good means that I'm actually getting there. Yeah.
As we let you go,
Yes.
do you have any specific actors or actresses you want to work with that you really feel like you want to work with? Let's start with the local scene and then the international scene. Any actor or actress locally?
To be honest, for me, anyone that's just easy to work with. I don't care so much. Like, for example, let's say I'm watching Pearl Magic and I see someone acting as a dad. I might not necessarily want to use them as a dad in my film. So I'm just looking at someone and I'm like, I like the structure, I like the energy or whatever. But are they like someone I can work with? Are they someone that will understand that we will fail when we're working on a project? But how do we deal with that? You know, if we fail, let's say it rains, it's not my fault, or let's say it's my fault, something has happened, and we need to do it again.
So it goes beyond just playing the character part to how you deal with situations.
It's more than that. It's more like how do we, because making a film is like battle almost. So how do we do this together?
Have you started using stunts?
I've been making a reel and I feel like I'm dying.
But I've really looked for money. Didn't I've ever acted?
Yeah, so have I.
Even us.
So
maybe Bernard, I don't know.
Money in acting.
But all of
money in acting.
yo,
Someone
50K
lied
per
to me.
episode, by the way.
Like
What?
Yes.
So it's very
50K per episode?
What I was asking.
No, this one.
They're giving me 50K.
What are you doing? We were just walking
As
through
a
the
con
scene.
man, don't you remember? You guys, that's it. I even posted it on Twitter. I sent it to all you guys. As a con man, I still have that suit up to now. That's how special that scene was from.
You were a proper
I
con man.
acted that shit out.
You're like, this is my life.
Yo,
I need a Grammy out of this shit.
the best thing about being on TV is your family members.
Oscar, sorry.
Your family members call you, they're like, yo, we are seeing you on TV. Now they think you're making $1 million.
Oh, me.
50K.
Yeah, someone
Of which we spend in
will
transport.
make money.
Look, man,
And I was
internationally,
apparently
anyone?
good at it. Oh, at least
I
not
love Sam
bad,
Jackson, but I'm guessing,
Someone else
I'm guessing,
Jackson.
yeah, I don't think I'll ever get that chance. But yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I can
You know
imagine
that.
how many times he would have to say, you know, the MF.
Yeah, that's
word.
okay.
Yeah.
Which is
very
actually
fine.
his brand.
His brand.
It's yeah.
I've
Yeah.
not met any artist who's any actor who says
Most.
motherfucker.
I think
Like
the,
Samuel L.
closest
Jackson.
used to be Bunny Mark back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Bunny Mark was
Bunny
funny,
was
hilarious
crazy.
guy, but motherfucker was his. He would be like, "This motherfucking shit don't make no motherfucking sense, you
Yeah.
motherfucker."
You remember how he explained it as a verb, then explained it as a noun.
Guys, so as we
Crazy.
close,
We need to stop. Yeah.
Are we already closing?
yeah, the time is
Because I
done.
did like 30 minutes.
No. We're in the last minute. So let me close with this story. Yeah, let me close this story. We all know the astronauts that came back to Earth. So they were in space for 9 months, which is abnormal because they've been there for like 3 weeks.
Which one?
They-
The new ones or the Buzz?
The old ones, the two, the babe and the guy. So, but when they came back, of course, their bodies are not. They're literally going to take 2 months to get back to
Then
normal.
it's it.
But me, as we close, the one thing I wanted to ask each of you is, if you were away from Earth for 9 months and you came back, like you've just dropped like this, what's the first thing you would do? I know, what's the first thing you would do?
Is my health okay?
Sex.
Or it's
Like,
not?
what's-
Wait.
First of all, you can't
What are the
walk.
I
circumstances?
can't walk.
Yeah, you can't walk. They are literally putting them in wheelchairs.
Okay,
Of course, the first thing I would need is medical attention.
Sure.
I think that
Yeah,
You were okay.
Now
Fine. Now
I'm
you're
okay.
physically fine. Yeah.
Now I'm physically okay. I've eaten some food. I'm okay.
Yes.
I can get a hard, long week.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna want to get in there. Yeah, I'm telling you.
For real though.
9 months.
For real. 9 fucking months.
Bro.
That's enough time for a child to be born.
Now for you, come as one to the tent. Come on, fresh and clean.
I need to know if I
Take
still...
one of my baba and tell us Samuali. I can wallet and inside. That episode, I'm telling you, I send my apologies and you understand. You either push the next day.
No, I concur with the precurrent speaker.
Thank you so much.
I think...
You guys, what the heck? Like sex?
Let me tell you,
Bro.
Faizo, I feel like you don't give sex the importance it requires.
Yeah, you don't give it enough credit.
And maybe
give it
too much importance. As we should. The reason the human race exists is to breed.
There has to be a line, but you
Fine.
guys,
Which is the tell us, huh? What would
I'm
you?
going to see my child. Like I've nothing
Yo,
else.
you've been
Who was
your
born out of what?
Sex.
Look, what would you do?
I would want to say to people, my child, my man, but not for the sex, because you gave it so much. Like you
9 months deserves the credit.
You've been up
9
there.
months you've been up.
You've not done
come back.
anything.
But the question wasn't that. It's not like you haven't. Maybe you.
No, you haven't.
you were there with
Just
someone.
to...
Where? 9 months.
There
Let's
was-
wait
it was
for
a
clarify.
man.
Was I having it?
Was I having it
You
there?
can't have sex from
Yeah.
space. You
Why?
like
Why
you
can't
can't
you?
expound that much energy.
Yeah.
Because you have to
It's
leave
too much
the
of it. Yeah, you
limitation.
have to.
Remember, you're already malnourished, so you're probably not even. going to
You can't
ejaculate.
even...
You don't have enough
Not
protein.
even erect, bro.
Push out spams.
So
So look,
what would you do?
What space are you talking about?
it's like out of
I think,
out of
okay,
the
for me, I feel like-
atmosphere.
It's the first thing I would do is like like at the beach where you step in the sand and you,
Yeah, like to
and
feel-
you do your toes like that. Yeah, that'd be nice. And then I would do what they
This nigga is writing a scene with
right?
stepping in the
It's
sand.
making us feel like shit.
We're shit.
But
I know why what he said. He said I'll do that and then do what these guys are doing.
Oh.
Don't be
What would you do?
Don't be like your warm up.
Yeah, shit.
This is
Faizo, what would you?
You guys, I'm like I can't be the only black sheep on that.
No, it's okay. It's allowed.
It's okay.
I will do what my guys are doing because you're all my elders. I'm trying to divert from what my
Don't
elders
forget to
are
like,
doing.
subscribe,
Yeah.
and of course share this link to your friends. Loukman Ali, man, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for spending time with us. And
Yeah. Quite short notice, but you came to, man. I appreciate you.
This was dope.
We out, guys. 9 months.
You expect me to
Amanda.
say something different. Like you think I'm a saint.